What is going on, boys and girls of YouTube? So we've done top jungles, we've done top mids, now we got to do top solos. I think solo, oddly enough, it went from probably the most popular, most content covered around it to some of the least. And it's wild because I think solo is more game to game than it ever was in Smite 1, meaning the gods that should be played, the builds, order, and items change so much that I feel like there should be more content on it. I believe what it really comes down to is a lot of solo laners see the variety and they try to test the variety all the time rather than just falling into some uniform build top gods. Plus the game is changing a lot and there's no SPL, so they don't get to test each other, which I also think affects it a lot. Now, with that said, there are solo laners to watch to learn the role. Solo is probably my least played role. I hate the role. I just don't like the way it plays out. Do see the value in the role, especially frontline gods. You got Snatty. I think he does YouTube videos and streams. Solar Troll, YouTube videos and streams. So if you're looking for someone specific, that's probably who you'll go to. However, I play the game a lot. I especially know what gods are good in terms of getting ganked and dealing with ganks or harder to gank, whatever, and playing around them and how they affect team fights, because I play a lot of jungle, mid, and ADC, so I deal with them diving and see who's actually strong and who's not. So let's talk about this. Let's get into it. It's a top 5, but to me it's not really a top 5. I have a top 7. So I'm not all over the place. I am not certain, because a lot of solo lane is heavily based around the laning phase for you. Like, your job late game is running the carries, and that shouldn't be difficult in my opinion. You literally just decide when you want to go in, you dunk on them with whatever abilities you got. Not that hard, right? The laning phase is where most people struggle. They don't know their matchups, they don't build correctly, whatever it is. So we've got builds on Smite Source, so the builds isn't a problem. Learning to not die. Every matchup is not technically winnable. There are matchups you are supposed to lose or try to neutralize as much as possible. Learn that, please. As you play the game, realize, hey, this is a matchup that I don't do well into. How do I play to clear and live and farm rather than try to fight this guy? That is big going into the solo lane, okay? It's very, very important. So number 7, I'm gonna say it's top 5 with 2 number 1s and 2 number 5s. Doesn't make sense, but that's what we're doing. Bologona, number 5 on our list. No aspect, and this is because of someone that a higher level player's build that they came up with. So Bologna's a good solo laner, we know that. Bologna is a true hard counter to carries, to auto attack gods. I've shown you that a couple of the top mids are maybe not auto attack gods, but they're hunters. Hunters in general, auto attack hunters, are very good coming out of the duo lane. And then you even see a lot of auto attack gods played in other roles, solo and jungle sometimes. Danza, Apollo, especially Apollo aspect. Bologna's value is there, and I think people aren't acknowledging it. Now, I mainly see really bad auto attack Bologna builds where they go a lot of damage and not a lot of defense. There's a player, John Rowing, who's, I'm not gonna say he's the best player in the world, but he cooks up with some builds. He comes up with some pretty unique stuff. And I ran this in the jungle with a jungle starter and top damage and destroyed with this in a high level game. I've played against a build very similar to this twice. It hurts. It's really hard to deal with. You can swap out the Shoguns for Height of the Nemeans who truly run at the ADC players and make it so they can't play the game. But the difference is you're not playing around on just pure auto attacks. You're playing around the damage your 2 does. That's why you're not going aspect. You have a good laning phase, you're Bologna. You have an ultimate that can save you. You have an ultimate that allows you to 1v2. You have good sustain with the devos and the fact that your 2 AoE cleaves you're gonna out sustain everybody with your AoE cleaves. This can also be a death stall if you're looking for more damage and less tank, but the tankiness you get from this, you are unkillable. It is ridiculous. If you are a Bologna lover, run this and stop running the tier thing first item, full damage Bologna that just gets cooked in the late game if anyone decides to kill you. This build is insanely tanky. You have 1 damage item and you hurt. You do good damage. And if you decide to go Death Soul, you'd have a 2nd damage item. And remember, Sundering Axe is 30 strength, so it's like a true hybrid item. I like this. It's fun. This makes the solo lane enjoyable to play because it feels like you're playing one of those gods that just does a lot, but then usually is weaker, even though you're doing a lot. Now you do a lot. You feel tanky. You feel good. Highly recommend this. This is my tied for 5th. One of my gods tied for 5th. So the other number 5 is brand new god. Just came out in the patch. It's a Wukong. I don't have a build yet up for some Wukong because we're updating the website. Every patch high-res drops, they move files around and it makes it really hard to pull info. So sometimes it takes an extra day or 2. That's happening right now. The aspect also just launched at the time of me recording this video. He's good, but not great, and definitely not OP. I place him in like a B tier in solo, probably maybe lower in jungle, and then probably B tier in mid. I think int build is bad. I don't think it's terrible. I have seen some tech around it and some ideas around the int build. The int allows you to heal a ton in your ultimate. It also extends the range of your 1 or your 2. It makes them do more damage the farther you are away, rather than being close on top of them with strength build. Strength build in other roles still hits really hard. Now, the reason I do like Wukong is his new passive drops a clone at 30%, and then you still drop a clone in your ultimate, and the clones do your 1 and your 2 ability. They're also harder to kill. They're really annoying. They are very frustrating to play against. That's why I like him in solo. He's still very safe in solo. You have the ultimate to disengage. Your ultimate, they sped it up, so as you're channeling that ultimate and you start to go up in the air, you can basically instantly leap out. You don't have to wait till you hit the peak of that cloud, which is also nice. The aspect allows you to potentially have more CC on the 2 or a couple other things. That's going to be preference. It just came out today, so I've played it a few times, but I haven't seen it played or played against it yet. I have him here mainly because he's either going to be 5th or he's going to move up as time goes on and builds come out. I've seen an int build where they go the scepter that pushes people away. They go in with the boar and they push people towards their team. There's some cool tech around this god. I just don't think he's strong. I think he's okay. I've also seen full lifesteal builds out of the solo lane. As the god gets played more, and once we have on Smite source, I'll add these builds that are being consistent. Just gonna have to wait on that. So that's my tied for 5th. Next is number 4. It's Nemesis. Aspect Nemesis. I think the Aspect Nemesis is cracked. I really think it's good. I think it's very, very, very strong. So if you go to Nemesis on Smite source, right here, you can go to solo build, and it's basically just a high cooldown spam, sit in front of an ADC with higher than Nemean build. Pendulum's big because it gives you that 3 up again earlier. It's very hard to kill a Nem that has 2 shields. That's not in a team fight. In a team fight, you might get a shell from your support. You might get the selflessness proc from the support. You could have 4 shields. I've seen it happen. I've tried to kill a Nem solo. The big difference here is you're running aspect, as it shows here in the bottom corner. The aspect works where the lower health you are, whoever you ult, you basically add your 2 HPs together and then spread them out. So if you're super low and you ult somebody that's full HP, you'll be able to go to, especially with a build like this, you'll be able to go to like 2k HP off the ultimate, and they'll get pulled down from their max HP down to like 1,000. I like aspect Nem. I think it is very, very good out of solo. Being tanky gives it very a large amount of viability, and the options you have, you get to make a lot of choices on who you're targeting. If you're sitting in the fight in front of them, if you're going in and out, very in your face, super fun, really good laning phase, hard to kill. Downside is cripples. So if there's like Cupid, Poseidon's, Ares, that might make this god fall down a bit. However, you're super tanky, so if they're focusing you, you don't really care. You still just ult them and run at them. Try it. It's fun. It's very, very, very good. That's number 4 on my list. His farm potential is also there, which is nice. His clear is a little weaker, but once again, you can kind of just run at the other person and not focus too much on the clear, which some people like that playstyle a lot more. Number 3 on my list is Morid. Somebody recently said Morid with no aspect, by the way. Having aspect on makes it so you don't pen shred as much, and ends up being a little less valuable, in my opinion, and from what I've heard a lot of solo laners play. I've seen a couple solo laners say Morid's the best solo. I get it. I don't fully agree because I think his big ultimate is bad, and any good player should be avoiding it. It's super easy to avoid. That's his downside. That is the one thing I count as his downside. I actually think his smaller ultimate is his better ability in his kit over his bigger ultimate because it's a root, it heals you, it does a lot of damage. It's a really good ability, it can hit more than one person. I like the mini ult rather than the big ult. Now, his laning phase. One of the few solos that easily 1v2s. High damage output because of how many abilities he's spamming with his dash, with his mini passive dash. That on top of just having a really strong build and farm potential makes him something you should be playing in the solo lane. He's one of the few solos that doesn't have to build a damage item in the second slot to really get value. He can just be full-blown tank with a bluestone and pumping damage because he's spamming 3 abilities. He's also spamming 3 dashes in between these abilities, and then the abilities are coming back up very, very quickly. Plus mixing the ults in there, the mini ults and the big ults, he's non-stop casting and just harassing backline. I love having Morid on my team. Biggest thing for me is that ultimate. That ultimate just knocks him down out of that number 1 slot for me. It's really rare that his ult lands, especially on me. You hear it coming, you know where he's coming from. All you have to do is a circle loop around where he's trying to target, and he literally can't hit you. Plus, then if you have movement or beads or AoE beads, he should never land an ultimate. That's why I have him here. With that being said, fun god, lots of damage, definitely should be in your rotation, should be a god you know how to play in the solo lane. Number 2 on my list is here, Thor. Thor in Smite 1 ended up being one of the most cracked solo lanes that nobody had been playing and then just took over without any buffs or anything really crazy. In Smite 2, he has an aspect that makes him tankier. It literally sets him up and promotes that solo lane play that was in Smite 1, and it's really, really good. The one thing that you have to worry about with Thor is your very, very early game. If there's someone who's just tankier and able to bully you a little bit, you have to make sure you do not die in your first 3 levels. After you get through that, full clearing with the 1, mass rotations, semi-global ult, easily can rotate into mid lane and ult in a mid lane, at 10 minutes can teleport through and ult into the dual lane for free. This god has the most instant control from the solo lane, where most solo laners need farm items, whatever. Thor needs levels. Solo lane guarantees levels. Absolutely play this god in the solo lane, please, for the love of God. I see it. I don't see it enough. I genuinely don't see it enough. I think it is extremely slept on. Play it similar to Nem, where you're looking to get bluestone, helps you clear, you're looking for a damage item. The pendulum is big because if you're clearing with your 1 and you get ganked or someone rotates into your lane, that pendulum will bring it right back up and you can use it to run away. Without it, losing out on that 4-second cooldown will almost guarantee that you get ganked more than you should. Then you're going hyper tanky. You don't really need Fiending Shield for sustain. You can go it if you want, but Glad Shield's gonna give you more damage, give you that cooldown. Spirit Robe's gonna keep you alive. Freya's Tear is gonna keep you alive plus give you cooldown. Hide Anemia and sustain in front of ADCs once you do a full rotation. I will say, if you're feeling yourself, you can opt out for one of these 2 tank items and go into another damage item. Brawlers if you need anti-heal, Erendite if you want more damage plus cooldown, Hydras if you're looking for a little more damage plus cooldown. You have options. It will make you a lot squishier, but depends on how the game is playing. So Thor is my number 2, technically number 2, because I have 2 number 1s. All right, we're powering through this. I also think all the solos that are good are actually kind of fun gods to play once you get in the team fights. Like spamming on Thor is enjoyable. Spamming on Morid is enjoyable. Spamming on Wukong, enjoyable. Dunking in or full committing on Nemesis or Bologona, it's fun. Like that part of the game is fun for solo to me. I just hate the laning phase. I genuinely hate the laning phase, and I think it seems to be a very common theme that other people also hate the laning phase. Maybe it's because the side camps are there that everyone wants removed. I really don't know. Maybe you guys know. Drop it in the comments if you do. So tied for number 1. We're gonna go over them both. Number 1 is Karaken. Karaken's passive makes him basically unkillable early. I mean, you get to go bluestone plus a damage item and still feel unkillable. You don't really have many bad matchups. You can interrupt anybody with any channeling abilities. You can run away for free with the 1. You've got 2 stuns. You have a wall to put down if you're trying to lock people in for kills, or to put down to block abilities or people from getting to you. He's good, man. Like, he's a really hard god to deal with. And a lot of the root gods that we mentioned, Scylla's the top. Scylla's the top mid mage. Can't root Karaken when his 1's up. Baron shouldn't be able to root Karaken when his 1's up. If CERN's in your game, can't root. Whoever else, you guys, you can't. You just deal with it so well as Karaken, because you truly just press 1 and run at people, and they hate it. Here's a solo lane build I have up. Going serrated for sustain plus some damage. This allows you to have hyper kill potential on anybody who is also going double damage. Then Phoenix for sustain. Whenever you 3 or hit the wave, you just heal for a ton. If you don't feel like going damage, you can go Phoenix here and pick up another defense item. Spirit Robe, just a cracked defensive item that pretty much everybody builds. Glad Shield for more cooldown. These also can be shift, but I think having Spirit Robe here is good so you aren't getting ganked by any magic gods. Freya's Tear is more cooldown. You want to be able to spam Nemean to run at the hunters. Kind of a standard solo build. Remember, all these builds, you can swap items out that are specific to your match. If you need anti-heal, you could drop the Spirit Robe, you could drop the Hide of the Nemean, you could drop the Glad Shield and grab the anti-heal tank item because you're going to need it. Those kind of things are things you have to process on your own. It's really the core of these builds, almost for everybody, jungle, mid, everybody, have like a core 4 items, and then the other 2 items are interchangeable. Play like that. Think about, hey, I'm playing against an Aphrodite. We need anti-heal. If we don't have it, we're probably going to lose. I'm laning against a Guan. Ton of sustain. I need to build this. I'm laning against magic, so I want to get magic defense in this Phoenix Shield slot instead, and then just drop the Phoenix Shield. You go Onis or something here. As a solo, that is your how to build, right? It's what item really is good for me this game, and then the other 4 items are all good every game. Another thing to look out for as a solo laner is their whole team comp physical damage, is their whole team comp magical damage. Build around that. If they have 4 magic and a support who's physical, you don't care about the support. You need all magic defense. So all your items change to just full magic defense, and then you're unkillable. Think about those things while you are building, please. Solo lane, I just see people lose because they just have no clue how to build way too often. And then the second biggest thing on a solo lane, which Karaken is actually fairly good at, I mentioned it with Thor, is rotating. You're fast with your 1. If you pop your 1 and run out of lane, it comes off cooldown, and then it's coming back up as you get to the mid lane. Or if you teleport up a lane and then kill somebody, you could back and then 1 back to your lane really quickly and not miss much farm. That mobility, while it's not true leaps and dashes, whatever, it's good mobility. It's helpful, especially at a cooldown build. Now, if you don't feel like sustain is going to be valuable for you, this could always be a pendulum. This could always just be another, you can move the Phoenix Shield and go a full tank build and just be very, very tanky. That's always an option. But I will say, in ranked, I think you want to have some damage early. I think you want to be able to kill and try to solo that person in your lane. And some gods need the damage to do that. I think Karaken's one of them. That's our tied for first. Now, my true number 1, this is heavily based around ranked. It's chalk. And it's not a tank build. I think tank chalk is butt cheeks. It doesn't bug me at all in any role. It's kind of annoying to see him ult on top of you, but it's not that big a deal. It's full damage chalk, bro. Now, I've talked about how easy it is to die in lane. Full damage chalk can die. However, you have so much cooldown, one similar to Thor with Pendulum, that if you 1-2 a wave, you could ult, if you then you get ganked, you could ult and then 1-2 away, and you should not be dying. Now, the damage is key because if you can ult on top of the mage and the hunter, which most games is very, very easy, this build will put them down to like 30% HP before you hit them with a 1 and a 2 before anyone else follows up. Your ultimate slams with these builds. You don't have to go Erendite. You could grab a Hydra's if you feel like Hydra's is more valuable. You could go just pure more damage and drop the Erendite and go into a Transcendence in like an earlier slot here. Those are your 2 items you can move around, but please just go full damage. It's more fun. It's more valuable to your team. I hate tank chalk. I don't know why people promote it. I really think it's bad. If it's on my team, it does nothing. If it's on the enemy team, I just ignore it. I can still gank tank chalk. I feel like I can gank tank chalk easier than damage chalk, just because damage chalk is scary and might kill me in his ultimate, or the jungler might show up and kill me. Please, especially if you're lower end, if you're diamond or below, this will win you games. You can solo the carries. There are not many solo laners that are consistently soloing the ADC or the mage and insta-killing them. So I have chalk here as my number 1. Until I don't see the consistency and the damage, chalk's gonna stay my number 1. Whew, feels good to do solo lane. Hopefully this helps you guys. All the builds are on Smite Source. Once again, Snatty on YouTube, Twitch, Solar Troll, YouTube, Twitch to watch solo laners. I don't know. Oh, Nika. I don't know how much solo lane he's playing. I'm assuming he is. He's an EU player. He'd be a good one to watch for content if you need to learn some solo lane. I'm sure their builds look a little different. These are tailored and specific to just something you can run every game. Like I said, hope it helps. Hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. See you in the video later tomorrow, the next day, and the next day.